Hello everyone! Today, my group and I will discuss the Chapter 5 of Emergency and Preparedness and Safety, and it is all about the volcanic hazards. But before that, let me introduce myself first. I am Patrick John Corpuz. So now, the question here is, what is volcanic hazard? A volcanic hazard refers to any potentially dangerous volcanic process that puts human life, livelihoods, or infrastructure at risk of harm. Several hazards may affect the area around the volcano, especially the people living around the volcano. Example of that is the Taal volcano here in the Philippines. There are families, there are people living around in the Taal Lake, which is the crater of the Taal volcano. So, several hazards may affect the area around the volcano, such as lava flows, pyroclastic flows, lahars, and debris avalanches. Volcanoes can be exciting and fascinating because of their natural formation, of course. The great example of that beautiful formation is the Mayun volcano, the perfect cone volcano here in the Philippines. But they can be also dangerous because there are active volcanoes that is capable of creating harmful or deadly hazards whether during the eruption or a period of quiescence. Volcanoes are naturally systems and they always have some elements of unpredictability. So, understanding what a volcano can do is the first step in mitigating volcanic hazards. Of course, if we know the basic knowledge about this, we can save our lives. However, it is noteworthy that even if scientists have studied volcanoes for decades, they do not necessarily know everything about what they are capable of. That's it. Thank you for listening to me, and afterwards my group will continue the discussion.
Hey! What's up everyone? I am Kimberly Domagan and today we will have another class and focusing on various volcanic related hazards. Volcanologists are always working to understand how volcanic hazards behave and what can be done to avoid them. USGS Bulletin enumerates a few of the more common volcanic hazards and some of the ways in which they are formed and behave. So, let's go through them one by one. The first one is your lahars. Lahars are a specific kind of a mudflow made up of a volcanic debris. They can form in a number of situations, namely, number 1, when a small slope collapses, gather water on their way down a volcano. Number 2, through rapid melting of snow and ice during an eruption. Number 3, from heavy rainfall on loose volcanic debris. 4, when a volcano erupts through a crater lake or when a crater lake drains because of overflow or well collapse. Let us define the destructive characteristic of lahars. First is, lahars move rapidly down valleys like rivers of concrete. Lahars can occur with or without a volcanic eruption. Lahars pick up materials as they travel, which can cause damage to structures in their path. Lahars and excess sediment cause serious economic and environmental damage to river, valleys, and floodplains. Next one is ashfall. Volcanic ash consists of fragments of pulverized rock, minerals, and volcanic glass created during volcanic eruptions and measuring less than 2 millimeters in diameter. The term volcanic ash is also often loosely used to refer to all explosive eruptions products, correctly referred to as tephra. Ashfall or tephra fall are showers of airborne fire to cause grained volcanic particles that fall out from the flames of a volcanic eruption. Ashfall distribution dispersal is dependent on prevailing wind direction. So, what are the devastating effects of ashfall? Ashfall endangers human lives, but it can have devastating effects on the things that people rely upon from day-to-day living as a result of its fine-grained, abrasive character and widespread distribution by wind. Ashfall and volcanic ash clouds are a major hazards to aviation. Ash fallout to the ground can pose significant disruption and damage to buildings, transportation, water and wastewater, power supply, communications equipment, agriculture, and primary production, leading to potentially substantially sociality impacts and cost even at thicknesses of only a few millimeters or inches. Fine-grained ash, when ingested, can cause health impacts to humans and animals. Next one is your pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flow contain a high-density mix of hot lava blocks, pumice, ash, and volcanic gas. They move at very high speed down volcanic slopes, typically following valleys. Most pyroclastic flows consist of two parts: a lower basal flow of coarse fragments that moves along the ground, and a turbulent cloud of ash that rises above the basal flow. Ash may fall from this cloud over a wide area downwind from the pyroclastic flow. Additionally, the hazards and effects of pyroclastic flows: it can burn forests, farmlands, destroy crops, and buildings. Deadly effects include asphyxiation, inhalation of hot ash and gases. So, imagine yourself, inhaling a very hot air gas that it has ashes on it. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. And of course, it can incinerate, burn you, crush you from its impact. Sorry for that very drastic photos. So, let's move on to the next one.
Hi guys, I am the next reporter. I am Clint as with Cutan, and now we move on to the volcanic gases. Magma contains dissolved gases which provide the driving force that causes most volcanic eruptions. When we say volcanic gases are the gases given off by the active volcanoes. These include gases trapped in cavities in volcanic rocks, dissolved or disassociated gases and magma and lava, or gases emanating from lava, from volcanic crater and vents. Volcanic gases can also be emitted through groundwater heated by volcanic action. And now, we proceed to the lava flows. Lava flows are streams of molten rock that pour or ooze from an erupting vent. Lava is erupted during either non-explosive activity or explosive lava fountain. The speed at which lava moves across the ground depends on several factors. Number 1, type of lava erupted and its viscosity, or the thickness of lava flows. Number 2, steepness of the ground over which it travels, or how fast the lava will step to the ground. Number 3, whether the lava flows as a broad sheet through a confined channel or down a lava tube. Number 4, rate of the lava production at the vents. It depends on the vents of lava of how big or small it is. And the last part of my report is the ballistic projectiles. Volcanic explosion can propel rock fragments on ballistic trajectories that may differ from the wind direction. These are known as ballistic projectiles. Ballistic projectiles are rock that an erupting volcano may hurl into the air. These blocks and bombs travel like cannonballs and usually land within 2 kilometers of the vent. This event may occur without warning and in the absence of larger magmatic eruptions. More typically, ballistic projectiles are limited to within about 5 km or 3 ml of the vents. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
I am Dequillo. My topic was all about the signs of impending volcanic eruption.
Ito yung pagtaas ng frequency of volcanic quakes o pagyanig ng bulkan. Kasabay nito ang kumakabog na tunog o tinatawag natin na rumbling sounds. Ito yung pagbabago ng kulay na lumalabas sa pagputok ng bulkan. Mula sa puti hanggang nagiging kulay abo ito dahil sa intained ash. Crater glow. Ito yung pagbabago ng hugis ng bunganga ng bulkan. Depende sa lapit ng magma sa crater ng bulkan. Pagkakaintindi ko, dito nagaganap ang pagbitak-bitak ng lupa or kanang sa Bisaya pa kanang magliki-liki ang yuta, mag-create siya kanang mag-start nag-erupt ang vulkan tapos maglinig na mo
The first sign of implementing volcanic eruption is that the volcanoes provide various types of warnings, which is the earthquake or lindol and the swelling or the pamamaga ng lupa. Pangalawang babala is that people living near volcanoes may detect premonitory events before an eruption. Yung mga tao na nakatira malapit sa bulkan ay makakaranas ng lindol at sobrang init na dala o babala na malapit ng pumutok ang bulkan. Measurement of changes in heat flow o ang sobrang init na dala ng lava, detection and interpretation of precursory event. In addition, we have another sign of volcanic eruption is the dying of spring or wells around the volcano or ang pagtutuyo ng mga tubig na malapit sa bulkan. Second is the localized landslide, rockfalls, and the landslides from the summit area and which not attribute a heavy rain. Yung tinatawag natin na pagguho ng lupa ng dahil sa lava at hindi dahil sa malakas na ulan. Second is that the noticeable increases in the extent of drying up of vegetation in the volcano's upper slopes around the upper slope. The noticeable increases in the extent of drying up of vegetation and around the volcano's upper slope. Pagtutuyo ng mga lupa na malapit sa bulkan. Increases in the temperature of hot springs, wells, crater lake near the volcano. At ito rin yung sanhi ng pagkainit ng mga tubig na malapit sa bulkan, kagaya ng spring wells. Sobrang init ng mga tubig.
Hi everyone, in this part of the video, we're gonna talk and discuss about interpreting different volcano hazard maps. Those maps can give us information and data employing about different colors, codes, and scalar system of illustration. O para sa atin, tinatawag itong mga palatandaan. If you know how to interpret different volcanic hazard maps, and then it's a big advantage for you. It may help you in drawing different emergency plans in the event of volcanic eruptions. First in our list, we will gonna interpret this picture. The picture you've seen is what we call the world major volcanoes. Yung mga nakikita natin sa picture, yung may mga kulay red na dot that recognize the world major volcanoes. They are called as the world major volcanoes because those volcanoes are on the list of the world's most active volcanoes as of 2013. Kapag malapit yung location mo sa mga red dot na nakikita mo sa taas or sa picture, it means you are in the danger zone. Next, we will discuss the major volcanoes here in the Philippines. Yung mga nakikita nating red triangles sa Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, yun yung mga most active volcano here in the Philippines. In Luzon, we have the Mount Pinatubo, the Mount Taal, and the Mount Mayon. And in the Visayas, we have the Mount Canlaon, and in the Mindanao, we have the Mount Ragang. Actually, marami pong volcan dito sa Pilipinas. There are more or less 300 volcanoes, but mostly of them are now dormant and extinct. Doon sa mga location po na nakikita natin sa mga red triangle, ingat-ingat po tayo ha. Nasa danger zone ka po. And number 3, we will be discuss the map of the pyroclastic flows from Mount Pinatubo. Dito sa picture, yung makikita natin yung mga kulay brown from the center of the Mount Pinatubo going downslope. Yung kulay brown na yun, yung tinatawag natin ng mga pyroclastic flows. Pyroclastic flows is a dense, a very destructive mass from a very hot ashes, lava flow, and we have the gases that been explosively rejected from the volcano. Pyroclastic flows also is a typically flowing downslope at a very great speed from 100 km per hour up to 700 km per hour. Kaya, be careful tayo. Next, we will gonna interpret the simplified hazard maps showing potential impact for the ground base. And the best example we have is the Dalawan Volcanic Center in California. First, yung nakita mo sa picture na may kulay violet or pink, yun yung tinatawag natin na the vent area of explosiveness. Itong vent area of explosiveness, ito yung parang opening ng bulkan o yung labasan ng mga lahar, lava flows at tsaka ng pyroclastic flows at ng mga rockfall. Next, yung nakikita mo sa picture na may kulay red, orange at tsaka yellow, yun yung tinatawag natin na lahar or what we call the volcanic flow. Doon sa picture, yung mga hangganan ng kulay or ng kulay yellow, yun yung nagiging potential kung saan aabot yung tinatawag natin na volcanic flow in a volcanic area. And next, yung mga nakikita mo dito sa picture na may light mocha color, ito yung nag-indicate ng mga regional lava flow. Ito yung scale kung gaano kalawak kayang maikalat ng bulkan ang kanyang mga lava during or after the eruption. Lastly, yung nakita mo sa picture na pabilog in a gray color, it is what we call the area adjacent to explosive volcanoes. It is an estimate area how far can a pyroclastic and a tictipra can flow in a circle.
Guys, I am Zeros Di Maria. I will explain the maps showing volcanic hazards zones. So nakikita nyo dyan sa mapa, may mga iba't ibang kulay dyan na yellow, orange, pula, and green and black. So the orange one is small lahars. So ano ba ang lahars? Ang lahars ay a moving fluid mass composed of volcanic debris and water. So sa orange one, small lahars lang siya. So gagmay lang siya nga mga fluid sa gikan sa vulkan. So the pink one is moderate lahars. So moderate lang siya, gamay lang ang lahars. Gamay lang ang mga volcanic lahars. So the yellow one is large lahars. So diyan ang mga mga danger zone, mga lisod na nga kuan. Green one is area most likely to be affected by the lahars flows and circular flows. So areas most likely to be affected by lava flows. So diyan nga yung marami ng mga fluid or lava flows, dyan nang galing ang mga lava na lumabas. So the black one is post lahar sa sedimentation. So kayong mauga na ang lava, so mahimo na siyang sedimentation. Number 6, simplified hazard map showing potential impact for ground-based hazards, Crater Lake, Oregon. So, volcanic hazard zones. So, makikita nyo dyan sa mapa, may regional lava flow, hazard zone, near volcano, lahars, volcanic ash. So, sa near volcano, mga psychoplastic flows lang ang lalabas dyan, mga thick tephra, lahars, and ballistic adjecta. So, and then lahars, next is lahars, volcanic mud flows. So lahars, yung mga mud flows, yung mga parang putik na mga lava, yan yung mud flows. So ang volcanic ash, yun ang mga sa volcanic ash, yung mga maitim na mga ash, yung mga abog na lalabas galing sa volcano. Number 7, a map isolating hazard at the Ampato sa Bacanaya Volcanic Complex. So nakikita nyo sa mapa, may red, may orange, at moderate yellow. So the red one is high danger. So pag nasa red one ka nga, pag nakita mo dyan sa red, kasagaran sa red, danger talaga yan. So yan, dyan ang galing ang mga lava flows, mud flows dyan. And then sa orange is moderate danger. So kung moderate danger, so delikado din yan dahil may danger. So dyan lang lalabas yung mga ashes ng mga galing sa volcano. And then the yellow is low danger. So malayo na yan sa volcano pero danger din yan, delikado. So dyan lalabas yung mga ashes na lang, yung mga sedimentation sa lava. And yan lang po. Salamat.
Hi guys, I'm Shin V. De Los Santos. Now, let me show you the following things you can do to protect yourself, your family, and your property in the event of volcanic eruption. For volcanic eruption, build a disaster survival kit, which includes items like non-perishable food, water, or hand-crank radio, extra flashlights, and batteries. You also keep extra clothes and your important documents. During volcanic eruption, limit your time outdoors and use a dust mask or cloth mask as a last resort. Avoid areas downwind and river valleys downstream of the volcano. Take temporary shelter from volcanic ash where you are. Cover ventilation openings and seal doors and windows. After volcanic eruption, listen to your local radio stations for civil defense advice and follow instructions. Stay indoors and away from volcanic ashfall areas as much as possible. When it is safe to go outside, keep your gutters and roof clear of ash because heavy ash deposits can collapse your roof.
And that's the end of our discussion. If you have any questions, suggestions, or reactions, you can comment down below so that we can know your thoughts. And I hope you learned something from us, guys. Thank you for watching.